In this video, I'm going to be interviewing Shaun, one of my personal inner circle mentees. And hey, he's just raised £130,000 of other people's money and is just about to complete on 2 more property deals. And we're going to show you exactly how he's done this. If you're new to this channel, make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe now so you can come and tune in to weekly videos that I release to show you how to start, scale and grow your property businesses. Shaun, welcome to the channel. Great to have you with us, mate. So Shaun, we're gonna look at how you've raised this money, because it's a big block for a lot of people. They think they need their own money or it's impossible to raise money. But before we get into that, what do you do and where were you before making that decision to become a property investor? Where was you at in your life? What did life look like? Why did you want to become a property investor?
Yeah, sure. So I'm an accountant by trade, so that's my 9 to 5, so to speak. Yeah, it comes in very handy. And yeah, I've got a young family, so my son is 4 years old, and I was really looking at how I can create generational wealth. And in my opinion, just having a job is not enough. You need to create multiple streams of income. So that's been a big focus for me over the past few years. So I've been invested in crypto, stocks and shares, touched on other areas, but for me, real estate is king, and I've always wanted to be involved in that.
Okay. So always wanted to be a property investor, not necessarily know how to get there. Obviously, you're great with the numbers as well. And how did you then come across me and Assets for Life? What was that process?
So being an accountant, I have to do my background checks, right? So I was searching into the space to see which different providers were out there. It's one of those areas, I'm sure you'll agree, that there's a lot of scam artists out there. There's a lot of people that have this big talk about these property empires, but actually half of them don't even own property, right? So I've done my background checks, Trustpilot, things like that, and I see you guys with a real deal at Assets for Life. I see one of your webinars that I signed up for really resonated with you, even though you couldn't see me and didn't know who I was. I could, feel your presence through the screen. I could feel you were genuine, and I just thought, these are the guys I need to go and work with.
Right, so there was that connection there. I talk a lot of sense. I certainly know what works, what doesn't work, and we're in our 7th year now as a property business and wealth training company. So did you find that the training you had with me and the mentoring you've had with me has given you what you need?
Absolutely, and more. It's better than I thought it would be, to be honest. I knew it was going to help me get to where I wanted to go, but the time that I've been able to do it in, we're 10 months in now, it's been phenomenal. If it wasn't for you guys, it would have taken me years if I'd have ever got to this point. Right. In terms of being able to raise finance from other people, knowing how to do it, knowing how to close the deal with people. It's just something I wouldn't have been able to do without your help.
Brilliant. So you're just about to complete on 2 more deals, which is going to take you to 4 deals. What strategy do you run, and why do you run that strategy? Because there's loads of ways to make money in property, and it all depends on your personal circumstance. So what strategy are you running and why?
Sure. So the main thing is asset acquisition, and then with that focus, depending on where the property is, we could convert it to serviced accommodation, which is really hot at the moment, or you've got your typical buy-to-let. It's all about that sort of risk profile, and it depends on the location as well. So these 2 that we're buying at the moment, the serviced accommodation I don't think will work. We've done a lot of sort of background check on it, and the numbers might add up, but I think that the risk and reward profile is not there. So these are going to be buy-to-let.
Yeah, I really find that interesting. It's good that you're keeping an open mind, because every single property you have multiple options. You can run it as a single let, a HMO, serviced accommodation. You can keep it, you can flip it. Why is owning the asset important to you in your future?
Sure. Again, I said about creating that generational wealth. Well, to do that, you're going to need assets, and assets for life. And so by owning the property over the long term, I'm going to benefit from that capital appreciation as well as that monthly cash flow coming in. So, the tenant's going to be living in a nice property, because at the minute it needs a lot of work. So the tenant in situ in one of them is really excited for us to get hold of this place and turn it around for him. So he's going to be living in a nice place. He's going to be paying down our mortgage and debt on it, and every 5 to 10 years we can look at what it's worth, pull more cash out to go and invest in other assets.
Great, so you really are going full steam with the buy, refurbish, refinance model. Buy something ideally under market value or where you can add value, do the refurbishment, remortgage out, get as much of the initial deposit back as possible, and then wait for capital appreciation to kick in and just rinse and repeat that. It's a really smart model. Not a lot of people know about it. They just want to invest and have their money tied up. But the smart property investor, someone that's been trained correctly, understands the importance of, recycling that cash as many times as possible, because, having money sitting in a portfolio is just dead money, right? It's not going to be working for you. Great, so you're going to get great income from these assets. And you talk about legacy. So are you married? Have you got kids? What's your family situation like?
Yep, so I'm engaged at the moment. Took the plunge. So yeah, that's.
And that was recently, wasn't it?
It was recent, yeah. It was on Halloween. So yeah, we, partner and I, we both love Halloween. The kids enjoy it. So I've got a stepson who's 12, and then my son's 4.5. Time flies. So yeah, it's about helping them, but also about helping my parents and other family and friends as well. Because most people don't understand money properly and they don't have a good relationship with it. So by honing in on that, I'm able to help other people.
So look, if you could just quickly share some tips on money. You're obviously an accountant, you're an investor, you're in property, you've got kids. If you could just share a couple of golden nuggets when it comes to money, how to make money, manage money, multiply money, what would some of them golden nuggets be?
Yeah, so one of the first things, and this really applies to a lot of people today, is stay in your lane at the start. You see a lot of people going broke trying to look rich, buying the flashy cars, the belts, but they're living at home, they have no investments, no assets. You're just going to end up broke doing that. So I would say focus on investing, look at different asset classes and compare it to your risk profile of, do you want to risk something like crypto, which is very volatile, or do you want something that has got a proven track record over thousands of years, being real estate and property? So investing in those assets, you can get capital appreciation and monthly cash flow, which we've already touched on. And then understanding your relationship with money. I think that's the key thing, and you have to do that before you even think of investing. So does it make you feel anxious, excited? Just be honest with yourself, think about what that relationship is, and if it's a bad one, then address it, make it a good one. Take your steps, and then just keep investing. Cash flow is key.
So deploy capital. I really love that, because I've certainly done this myself in the past. You make money, you spend money. The more you make, the more you spend. And what happens if there's a pandemic, like we've been through? What happens if you get sick? What happens if you lose your job? Many people solely rely on one form of income coming into the bank account, and that's normally a job or a business, where actually you want to be focusing on multiple streams of income, one of which being property. So in order for you to grow this property portfolio, I know you wanted to raise and use other people's money. How does that work?
Yeah, so when you first come across it, a lot of people just think it's too good to be true, because it sounds so good. Like, I can build a property portfolio with other people's money. Like, it's insane. But once you realise that actually there's a lot of people that have a lot of money, but they might not have the knowledge, they might not have time. You get a lot of high net worth individuals that are in demanding jobs, doctors, surgeons, that type of thing. They don't have a surplus 6 hours a day where they can invest in a side business and grow it. So you are that middleman between them. Where it's like, right, you've not got the time, I've got the time and the knowledge, you've got the capital, let's work together, build a partnership and get your money working for you.
Great, so about creating a win-win with investors, yeah? And up until back end of last year, you hadn't worked with investors. Now you've raised, £130,000 that you've got ready to deploy. How did that make you, what were some of your blocks and challenges going into that, like talking to investors for the first time? What was happening for you, and how did you overcome that?
Sure. So initially, in the first few months of joining in the circle of Assets for Life, I was reaching out to people, but there was always something in the back of my head that was making me hesitate to pull the trigger and actually really go for it. And then, as working with you very closely, it was about getting used to being uncomfortable. you know, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, because otherwise you're going to keep achieving the same results. And once that light bulb moment came, the game changed completely. And it was about putting myself out there, getting in front of the camera. You know, I jumped on one of your webinars, and then I think a few weeks later I'd done like a 10-15 minute pitch, and off the back of that I had 2 phone calls. One of them is now going to become one of my JV funding partners, where we're creating a 50-50 SPV limited company, and we're looking to build a portfolio together.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? I remember having a session with you on Zoom, and I picked up on this, and I was just like, look, now it's either now or never, Shaun. Like, you've got to get in the game, yeah? You've got to just build that confidence, believe in yourself, and you did exactly that. And, you know, one of the great things about Assets for Life, we have a community, people we mentor, we have Zoom sessions, and yeah, you jumped on one of those, generated a couple of leads. So is it right in saying that you don't necessarily have to be going out to hundreds of people or tens of people to get money?
No, exactly. You could have one person in your network who could be in this position, but unless you get yourself out there and create like an omnipresence on social media, reaching out to people you know, you're never going to find them. So yeah, you've just got to be active and engaging.
Yeah, great. So have that omnipresence, put yourself out there. When you got your first investor over the line and they were like, yes, Shaun, I'm in, what happened to you? What emotions did you go through? How did it make you feel? And what impact has that now had on your property journey and, hey, even your family and your kids?
It's massive, massive impact, like game changing. So obviously happy, you know, more than that. I was so excited as well. And you know, there's that hunger within, you've got to feed the beast, right? And for me, that was what was happening. It was like, I want to keep repeating this, you know, because I'm able to help people on a journey, create that legacy wealth for me and my family, and actually have a good time while I'm doing it. I really enjoy that conversation with, you know, private funders, because you get to know them, you get to know what they're about, and if you can help them, if there is synergy, there's nothing better than that.
Exactly, and that's why, you know, people tuning into this now, they want to go raise money, not quite sure how. It's not about you or us as the person, it's about the partnership, and it's really about creating a win-win. And look, here's the thing, people have got money in the bank, going down in value. Inflation, what is it, 5.1, 5.2%, probably it could be even close to 15, if the truth be told, who knows? You know, cost of living is going through the roof, petrol prices record high, food costs record high, energy costs record high, and people are sitting on cash. You know, they've got money in other asset type products not performing, and anyone tuning into this, if you've got a solution like you and I have, where you can have them lend you the money or do a JV of some description, if you're not doing that, then you're being of disservice. And it feels really good to go and help private funders, because you know the power of compounding. At 20% a year, you can double your money in 4 years. At 25%, you can double money every 3 years. And there's different ways to structure deals. What's your preferred way of working with a private funder?
It's really going to depend on them. What are their wants and needs, what are their pains, and how I can help. Yeah. So one person who has agreed to commit some funds with us, they're not interested in a 50-50 JV, even though that would mean more money for them, because they've got the money, they're doing their side projects. They just wanted to get some of their money working for them rather than it sitting in a bank account losing money, like you just said about inflation. Whereas the other individual, where we've created this 50-50 JV, that's because our goals aligned. We just clicked. We just had a few discussions. We got to know each other. You know, I didn't just have a discussion, go, right, put your money in with me. You know, I learned from you. You've got to build that rapport, get that connection, make sure your goals are aligned. Because if this person wanted to go down developments, that's not part of my strategy. So there would have been no benefit to us doing something, because if they'd come in with me and then in 6 months, I'm like, no, we're not doing developments, we're doing this. There's going to be resentment, you're going to end on a bad footing, and that relationship's tarnished.
Yeah, and again, it's really important. You said it's about the investor, private funder, what are they looking for, and then how you can create the win-win, yeah? I'm really excited about your growth, and I know these next 12 months are going to be absolutely a game changer for you. And you know, I personally mentor you and help you through the entire process, and it's a real joy and a pleasure to work with you. So would you say anyone tuning into this that they can build a property portfolio using none of their own money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what, it's been amazing having you on the show. We'll definitely do a catch up in say 6 or 12 months so we can see how you have continued to grow. Well done on your 4 deals, well done on your £130,000. You should be really proud of yourself. Where can people find you out, Shaun? So if they wanted to come and hunt you down, where can they find you on the socials?
Sure, so on Instagram it's Shaun Bartle 91, that's the personal one, or if you want to see more of the company stuff, it's Blue Wolf Assets. There's a lot of content on there, as you see.
And amazing. Look, thanks for coming in. I wish you all the best, mate, and keep up the amazing work.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Cool, man. Nice one, Shaun. Cheers. Well, there we go. The one and only Shaun Bartle. What an amazing individual. Digging deep, doing the actions, and you can do this too. So if you're new to my channel, hit subscribe. If you want to ask a question, leave a comment below, and somewhere around this video there's going to be more videos for you to watch. Hey, the more you learn, the more you earn, and I'll see you in my next video.